our next panel speaker, Dr. Monika Hackel, who's head of Department for Structure and Regulation for VT at the BIP in Germany, which is the Federal Institute for VT. And her focus is on qualification and certification in VT and on the technological innovations in education. And I understand you're talking about 4 heroes.
Yes, thank you for the invitation, and good afternoon, everybody. My presentation gives a concrete example how transversal competencies are implemented in vocational education and training in Germany, and vocational education and training take place 70% in a company in Germany, so it's perhaps important to say. The starting point for my presentation is the question, what are the things every apprentice have to learn during training in order to be well prepared for the changing world of work, as well as for the transition to a sustainable economy. So I'm talking about young people who have already left school, entered an apprenticeship, and who have brought in some necessary basic skills like literacy, mathematical skills, and first IT or presentation skills, as well as general communicative and social skills. During the last 2 years, the BIP and its stakeholders, which come from the unions and the companies, have been working on a general minimum standard for all training occupations in Germany, and specific emphasis was placed on sustainability and digitization. So we call them the 4 heroes you see here. In our view, they build the basis for a modern working world. The first hero is orientation about the world of work, the company and its surroundings, labor and tariff law, accounting and taxes, knowing the opportunities to expand a career. All this is intended to enable the trainees to take responsibility for his own training and further education so that he is on a good starting position for lifelong learning. The second hero is safety and health at the workplace. Staying healthy and avoiding accidents is an important key to maintaining manpower. It is an essential factor of social and economic sustainability in equal measures. Here you can see some details that should be addressed in every training in Germany. Environment and sustainability in the narrow sense is brought into play by the third hero. Awareness of environmental pollution emanating from work and its impacts on nature, men, and economy. Optimizing resources, its impact on global society, the human aspect behind the creation of product value from raw material to completed product. Here it is about learning decision-making and reflecting on the objectives of the various sustainability goals and dealing with dilemmas. Number 4 deals with the minimum requirements of the digitized working world. As you can see, this is a rather basic standard that addresses, for example, data protection or information gathering on the internet, but also communication on the internet, as well as cultural differences in a global world. And this leads us almost to the conclusion. The 4 heroes never walk alone. They provide the minimum level for all in the German dual system. They must be provided by each company in training. So this minimum standard has to be complemented by vocation-specific competencies and specific regulations in the curricula of the vocational schools. In the sense of transversal competencies, the 4 heroes put the main focus on responsibility, creativity, and reflection. Graduates of dual training are thus able to take up and cope with the transition and change of the future world of work promptly and competently. So thank you for the time.
Pardon? Do you have a question right away? Sure.
So my question is regarding the last hero, which is like the digitalization thing. It's we all talk about it, but the thing we avoid is the technological gap that a lot of people face. Is the distribution of technology and access to internet. It's a big issue that we don't like. We didn't address here, and I would love for us to discuss the gap that we have, which, for example, was shown during the pandemic, that a lot of people in Poland, for I know the statistics, don't have an access to technology. So all the people that talked here about the programs, and a lot of people wouldn't have access to them just because. And I would love to hear your ideas how maybe would we can implement programs that would close this technological gap.
Yes, thank you for this question. I think it's an important thing that we have implemented this minimum standard to force every company to open up spaces for young people to get access to the internet in the company, and to get and to learn how to deal with the internet and the specific demands of the digitized world. So we spoke about vocational education and training, and we have this discussion in Germany as well for everybody have access to quick internet, and every school had to be close to connected to internet, and we have some problems with homeschooling as well in Germany, and our government has I think they have seen the demand, and they work on solutions, and that had be done quickly, I think so.
Well, I think that what it's now going into my mind, that education is not about, it's not only about young people. And I had this thought that we as a society, we also are suffering a bit from the gap in terms of knowledge about technology and online working. For example, in terms of older people. I think that this is an important part, because a lot of our work, a lot of, for example, some governmental council and all that stuff is going into internet, and older people not always have access to it. And I think that this is also a thing that we need to not forget, because they are always important in society. And there is a huge problem about that older people, for example, don't know how to use internet, how to use a phone, how to connect to the online meetings. They can't really do some important stuff. And I think that this is also a problem of education.
Yeah. Yes, definitely in the sense of lifelong learning. And it also has the effect of exclusion from the labor market, as well as to full participation in other areas of society.